Hello and welcome to another Guitar Rescue episode. Today we have a Taylor classical crossover type guitar. It's about a 2003 and the model number is NS32CE. And it's here for at least three things. One is it's got a crack down here that I'll show you on a still picture. Two is the electronics aren't working, and Taylor doesn't make that same preamp that was in it, so we're going to have to Mickey Mouse that a little bit, or jury rig it. And three is it's got a little bit of ripples on the soundboard here. This is a super thin piece of spruce. You can see a light through it anywhere on it, and especially where the crack is, you can actually see the light, which I'll show you later. So we're going to do this in parts so that Okay, here's a look inside my guitar, and as you see, as I move the light over, you can see this fine crack. The amazing thing is you can see the light through the wood. That's how thin the wood is, this incredible spruce top here. But you can see the crack that I'm going to fix right now. And I'm going to put a couple of cleats on it and do the best I can. I might move this camera just a teeny bit more. See how far down it goes. Okay, it looks like it stops just about at the rosette out here on the outside of the guitar. And it goes down to, I can see it down to the bridge all the way now, because it lights up even out here. So we'll get this fixed. I'll show you the steps after this. Stand by. Scan for everybody is good. First we're going to do the crack, and then we'll get into the electronics. What I'm doing with the ripples in the back, people scoff at this, but I am going to iron this. You put a damp cloth, just damp, not wet, and you heat it up, and wood tends to want to go back to its original shape. So it'll help it. Will it get rid of them all? I don't know. And the bracing, as you will see on this, because it's a classical guitar, the bracing kind of goes in this direction. So there's not a lot of bracing going across the top to keep it straight. So I'm going to add a brace. Instead of just putting a cleat in for the crack, I'm going to add a brace. I'll real quick show you with a lot of the tools that you're going to need. I have some, my wife is a hobbyist and a miniaturist, so she has some really great, she has a whole bunch of different kind of woods. I found one that I think I really like. It's a little thicker than I would normally use, and I would normally put like a cleat across a crack. But because there's no other support going, well, in this case, vertically across this soundboard, I want to put something stronger right beside the little brace that's already in here. There's a brace that kind of runs beside this crack, and then it goes out like a V. Quiet. There's a brace that runs like a V on the side of this crack. And I have a pet dog down here. So I want to put something a little more sturdy under that crack, to make a long story short. So we're going to come back and I'm going to start showing you the process of how we're going to do this. You got to have the glue, you got to have paper towels. I've got a secret weapon that I'm going to use as a clamp. I have a Tonewood Amp X thing. You could take these magnets, these are the world's strongest magnets. You can take these magnets out of here, but for this scenario that I'm going to do today, I'm going to put this inside the guitar with the brace sitting on it and line it up with the crack after I get it sealed. And on the top of the guitar, I will have a metal bar right on top of that crack. I'll have some masking tape on it or something so that it won't scratch anything, or maybe not. But these magnets are incredible. So this will hold the whole thing stable while the brace sets up on this crack. So this will be underneath. This will be underneath that crack, which is about right there. And then the metal will be on top of the soundboard, probably with something on it so that it won't stick to the glue or scratch the guitar. And then we'll have another piece of metal over here just to make it super strong like a brace, because this is a hard place to get a brace at. So stick around, we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. I masked either side of the crack. I'm going to put glue in the crack. Then I'm going to mask over the glue. I'm going to rub the glue into the crack through the masking tape. Then I'm going to pull it all off while it's still wet. I'm going to wipe it all down with a paper towel. From underneath, I have this tone wood X brace. I've put some masking tape and folded it over to make it like double-sided tape. I set the brace that I'm going to use on it. The trick will be to get it in there and line it up with the crack so that it's perfectly lined up from the other side with the crack. Then I use my little metal bars on the soundboard on the outside to hold that up there and then let it set up. I got to be careful that I don't miss the crack. I got to try to get right in the middle of that crack, which is not easy to do when you're using mirrors and a sound hole and everything. But that's what I'm going to do next. So we're going to start. I'm going to put some glue in between the tape. Then I'm going to put some masking tape. And then I'm going to rub it in and take it off. And we'll go from there. So I'll let you see this. I'm going to take a fine line here of glue down in between the masking tape that I put there. Then I'm going to take some masking tape and put it over the top of that glue like this. And then I'm going to massage that glue into that crack the best I can and hopefully get it to go down. And I can see it. I've got a mirror in there right now. I can actually see that glue coming through the crack. So far this is pretty amazing. Okay. Now I'm going to take off all the masking tape, hopefully. That's the plan anyway. To get the masking tape off as fast as I can. Then clean up my mess with a paper towel. My dog Layla's liking it here. My dog's here today helping me in the workshop. Okay, so we are going to wipe that off real quick. We got that glue in there. Okay, so now you're going to take, I'm going to shut off the camera for a minute while I try to line up the magnets underneath with my little brace, and we'll be... Okay, we're back. So as you saw, I pushed the glue down in, that was perfect. Okay, so then I took the X brace and I tried to put my little wooden brace in there with the X brace, but I had to go to plan B real quick. It's too hard to get that lined up like that. So I did it by hand. I took my fingers, I put the brace where I wanted it. I got it a little tacky so that it stayed there. Then I went back and lined up the X brace. Okay, I'm trying to show you what it's going to be. Okay, so you can see that, or I think you can, that I have the X brace inside, and I have the little brace that I'm using on the pads of it, and I'm holding it with a metal bar on the top, and we're going to let the glue set up afterwards, but I think this is going to work. So that the X brace, 2 of the magnets are right here and 2 of the magnets are right there. So it's like a clamp now holding this together. So now we're going to let that sit probably for a day because it is a delicate top. Okay, and then we'll come back and see how that finished up. I wiped everything off real quick with a damp cloth on the top here. So if I got any other glue on it, I would get it right off. I'm still working on the little waves in the back, but as I said, this is such a thin piece of spruce. Probably never going to get those waves back out of it. But I'm from the Willie Nelson School of Luthery. We don't throw anything away. If it sounds good, we'll use it. And I think this guitar will sound good when I'm done with it. It sounded good before I started. See if we can get the electronics working too. That'll be in an upcoming episode. But stick around and we'll unveil this when it's done and see how it looks. We'll be right back. Okay, day 2 of part 1 of the video, this guitar rescue. The crack is totally stabilized now. You can still see a line there, but there's a brace. We put a brace in it, as you see in the picture, and it is totally stable now. It will not spread. So that crack, I'm happy with that crack. It's fixed. Okay, well, I've taken out the electronics right now. We are going to, I've got them on my bench. We're going to do some testing on it. And in episode 2, part 2, we're going to work on the electronics. So see you in Guitar Rescue Part 2 of this Taylor classical guitar. See you later.